Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome to another Monday evening. Welcome to Cliff Notes Live. Hope y'all are doing fantastic. Let me start off before I forget. I'm not ever forgetting yet, but let me start with the big old SKD 143. I love my wife. I love my kids. I love all the reality fans out there. Man, Celebrity Big Brother's getting close, isn't it? And I certainly love all of y'all. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. I don't say it every episode, but I'll say it tonight. If you aren't already subscribed to this channel with Celebrity Big Brother getting ready to start, uh, go out there and sign up so you get notifications, because I am assuming that we're going to get the live streams. I'm going to try to update as best I can. Hey, it's a busy time of the year, but y'all know me. I'm going to be watching as much as I can. I'm not going to promise 24 hours a day, but I'm going to be watching a lot. So y'all go out there and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and that way you'll get notifications whenever I drop overnight feed recaps, things like that. So thank you for that. Now, welcome to all of y'all out here, but also welcome to those of you who aren't watching live, but watching on replay. It's so cool that YouTube gives us the option to not just show the show. I mean, yeah, me talking and all that. But if you watch this on a replay, you also get to see the chat replay as well. So all of y'all who are typing stuff out there, it's going down for posterity. It's going to show up forever and ever. So say nice things, right? I think I saw something today. Today is National Compliment Day. So if you get around to it, we got a few hours left in the evening. Throw some compliments out to some people and be nice about what you type, because again, it's going to be there forever. All right, who all do we have out here before we start talking? We got to talk about Celebrity Big Brother, right? Amanda Lowe. Howdy, Amanda. It's always nice to see you out here. Elisha as well. David Buchanan. Howdy. David. Paula Scar. Kiki. Mark Taylor. Rich Cat Ranch. I always think I'm not saying that correctly. It's like a tongue twister if you go too fast. Cindy Hire. Howdy. Ma is out here. Ma, welcome. I'm glad to always see you out here as well. D. Ellis. Chaz. Marilyn Sutherland. XX Typhoid. Now that's kind of a scary name. Did y'all hear about the monkey that escaped from the wreck over in Florida? We'll talk about that later, but sorry, Typhoid. That's what I think of when I see your particular name. Let's see who else. Phyllis Ann Shows. Howdy from Waco, Texas. Well, howdy, neighbor. Yeah, you're just up the road from me. Brian, did I mention you? I don't think so. Howdy, Brian. How are you doing as well? And I think that's Misfire. I can't leave out Misfire as well. So welcome to all of y'all. Thank you all for another evening right here in the middle of January. I know some of y'all are freezing down here in Houston. We're just getting wet. It's been raining all day long. Good day to be working indoors. That certainly is for sure. And Lauren Ratcliffe. Hey, Cliff from Dallas. Well, howdy, Dallas. I grew up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I was born in Fort Worth. I basically grew up in Arlington. So I know the Dallas-Fort Worth area very, very well. Rich Cat Ranch. Last Monday, I thought I had COVID. Test was negative. I'm still feeling bad. Well, I'm sorry about that, Rich Cat. No fun being sick, whether it's COVID or any other thing that's going around. So I hope you feel a little bit better, and I hope I give you an hour or so to at least kind of make you think about something other than feeling crappy. That's sorry about that, but get to feeling better soon. I hope you do. All right, what can we talk about? What can we possibly talk about this evening? Now, here's the thing. I always have a few things to talk about. Y'all know me. I never seem like I'm out of things to say. I could talk to a wall for 24 hours a day, I think. But I didn't take as many notes tonight because I was so certain that we would have a Celebrity Big Brother cast reveal by now. I said on this show a couple of times that I really thought last night, somewhere right after they finished all the football playoff games and everything else, that CBS would take that opportunity to at least put some names out there, even if they didn't put all of them out there, to put at least some of the names of who's going to be on the show. And they didn't. So I thought I was going to come in here tonight. We were going to go through them all and be so excited, talk about who we were cheering for, who we weren't going to cheer for, and everything else. No, it's still nothing but speculation. And I see so many people out there on, be it Twitter, Instagram, every social media you can imagine. Y'all seen it too. I don't know where these people are coming up with these names about who we can confirm that so-and-so is going to be on the show. It's been confirmed that so until CBS releases it, there's nothing being confirmed about who's going to be on the show, right? Now, I've seen names that kind of got me excited. That were people that would be interesting to be in the house. But I really think it's just fans that are that fans that are thinking who would be fun in the house, and those names are getting thrown up there over and over again. Think about it this way. Y'all remember 2 summers ago when we had Big Brother All-Stars, how many names were being thrown out there as being on the show? And even in that case, a lot of people ended up not being on the show, whether it was because they failed a COVID test or whatever else may have happened 2 summers ago. And we never did hear all of that. But who we got wasn't who we were expecting, even a week or so before the show started. Now, think about, instead of just old Big Brother players, think about celebrities and the people who've hired public relations firms and have all these things going on. I would think that CBS, and no one's going to know for certain who's going to be on or not on that show until the very last minute. I think a lot of the stuff out there is wishful thinking in terms of the names we're seeing. Now, that'd be cool, some of the people I'm seeing, but just wishful thinking. But it does make me wonder, do y'all think they're in sequester yet, these celebrities? Maybe not. Maybe, because I think, of course, I was on the show before we had those shutdowns and all of that. But even with me, I was in lockdown for about a week. And I know, talking to Nicole and David and some of the people who are on All-Stars, they had an even longer period because of COVID and all of that. But these celebrities, maybe part of their contracts or something, I don't know, but maybe it's only 5 or 6 days that they're going to be in sequester. And if that's the case, we may not get something for another couple of days. They may be a couple of days before. We may have another couple of days before they go into sequester. And if that's the case, then they don't want to get word out about who's going to be on the show before they go into sequester. And it makes you wonder, do you think the celebrities know who the other people are going to be on the show? Do you think any of them said, look, I'm willing to go on the show, but my contract's going to say you have to tell me who else is on there ahead of time so I can research them, or I can say yes or no if there's someone I can't stand or someone I really want. I don't know. They've got a lot more sway and a lot more leverage than us regular people have. So I don't know. I just wonder if there's any celebrities that do that. If not, you don't want them calling each other up ahead of time and trying to work out alliances and agreements and everything else. So they may not release this cast until they're in sequester, which tell me maybe they aren't in sequester just yet. Just thinking on my part. I saw a blurb from Angela Rockstar, who posted something that was interesting. She said that before her season started, a day or two before she went into sequester, there was some kind of cast leak, and she actually knew who else was going to be on her season before she went into sequester. I'd never heard that before. How incredible is that? I knew nothing. I knew no one who was going to be on the show. Kat sounds like she knew everyone, and Tommy and Christy knew each other. All these people who knew each other before going into that. Of course, Tommy and Christy didn't know, supposedly, I believe them, that they didn't know each other was going into the house until they actually saw each other. But yeah, I didn't see cast leaks or anything. I didn't know who was going to be in that house with me, but supposedly Angela had seen some leaks before the season started. How much of a benefit of an advantage would it give you if you could go in and just pull up some real quick information about the other people in that house before you went in? It'd be so huge, but I didn't get it. All right, couple of comments before we go any further. First off, Mark Taylor. Do you know who's carrying the live streams for Big Brother? I assume it's Celebrity Big Brother. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I assume it's going to be Paramount Plus, the CBS streaming app. They've got to be the ones carrying it, right? Now, for folks up in Canada, I don't know how it works with Global TV and if you have access and all that. I don't know. All I know, it's hard for me to watch the live feeds on Big Brother Canada. I don't know if it's as hard for y'all to watch the live feeds down here as well. But yeah, I assume it's going to be on the CBS streaming app. I hope so, because I'm keeping my subscription up and going just because of this and because of, of course, when the summer gets here and we get regular Big Brother, I'll be glued to that particular app. But yeah, I think it's just going to be the CBS streaming app. I still haven't heard if it's going to be close to 24-hour a day live feeds, or it's only going to be certain periods of time and the rest of the time it shuts down. I think, and I hope it'll be close to 24 hours. Now, it could be that the editors will be a little quicker to shut down and go away from the live feeds every once in a while if they feel it. I don't know, if they feel like it's better for celebrities' images and all that. I don't know how much the producers feel about that. If you're a celebrity, you're going to the Big Brother house. You better be prepared for the good and the bad. Don't ever make any assumption that they're not going to be showing the bad parts right along with the good. There are people in my own season who didn't obviously get the hint on that, but as a celebrity as well, I think you better be prepared for it. So yeah, I think it's going to be full-time feeds. I sure hope so. All right, Marilyn saying, I have a new granddaughter and I'm head over heels for my fourth. Well, congratulations. They had a grandkids. I don't have any myself, somewhere a little further down the road, but that's so cool. You're gonna get to spoil them and have all kinds of just cool. Kids, grandkids. Congratulations, Marilyn. Happy times for you. That's and your kids have a built-in babysitter, right? Now, congratulations. That's great news. Mark's asking, what are your thoughts in the Amazing Race so far? All right. I'm not going to worry about spoilers because it's been a week, so close to a week. And also, if you haven't watched the last episode, just do this for a minute or two. I like it so far. I like that they were able to come back. They're flying in a private chartered 757 so they can make their way around and all that, and that's fine. I've enjoyed it. The thing that I didn't enjoy was the fact that one of my favorite teams that I was really kind of cheering for were the Singing Policemen. They got sent home first when the season started because of COVID. What'd they say? I watched last episode last week. They lost 4 teams for a variety of reasons. I know one team was pregnant. One team was a dating couple and they broke up. You know what? Even if I was just a dating couple and I broke up with my Amazing Race partner for the opportunity to win $1 million, I don't care. I could absolutely hate the person I'm competing with. It must have been a somewhat bad breakup, or else I would think they'd still make it happen just for the race, but who knows? But if I'm competing in Amazing Race, I don't care how upset I get with someone. I think I'm going to keep on trying to get along, at least for the race, just to win $1 million. You know, I could put up with a lot of people for that kind of. I put up with a lot of people inside the Big Brother house for half that. So, but anyway, yeah, we lost 4 people. Singing Policemen went home the very first episode. And by God, they turned around. They went home as soon as they came back in for the second episode as well. Yes, I didn't like that, but no, I've enjoyed it. I love the Amazing Race. I love all the different places they've gone. So it's a lot of fun. We did something that was kind of fun, just in relation to the Amazing Race. Is we watched? I can't remember what the name of it is now. The 517 to Paris, I think. Is that right? The 1517 to Paris. It's the movie about Anthony and Spencer, who are 2 of the racers on the Amazing Race. They got famous because they were on a train going to Paris. A terrorist pulled out a gun, he had hundreds and hundreds of rounds. Well, they took the guy out, Anthony and Spencer, and took him down, saved, no one died in it, which is amazing. They had some injuries and things like that. Anyway, they got the Meritus Cross from France. They got to sit in, I think Obama was president at the time. They got to go to a presidential address. It was a big deal. They stopped a terrorist. And so anyway, they actually starred in their own movie directed by Clint Eastwood. But it's a movie about them stopping the terrorist attack. And Clint Eastwood decided, instead of hiring actors to portray him, he actually used the 2 of them in the movie, which is cool. So we watched that movie just thinking about the Amazing Race. Now, unfortunately, though, those 2 did not come back after the shutdown. So they're out of the race, and I hate to see that because they're one of the other teams I was cheering for. We lost them, but it's still cool watching the movie, the background that went on. I tell you what, in times of trouble, stress, and all that, you really see people who maybe you don't even expect it. They just suddenly jump in there. They're just a switch that activates in some people, and they go into that hero mode. And they put everything aside, their own safety and all that, just to do sometimes what has to be done. Fight or flight. I don't know. It's just I always respect the people who are willing to sacrifice so much. These guys did it. We got who knows how, hundreds of thousands of military members who do it on a daily basis. Props and all the respect in the world for people who are willing to put everything else in line instead of themselves. Off my soapbox, but yeah, I really like the movie. And the short answer is I'm loving Amazing Race. I'm just so happy it's back again. And now I already saw the casting call for future seasons of Amazing Race. That's a good sign, right? So, hey, Phil, call me. Call me. I'd be happy to go on the show. You pick the person. I don't even care, but I'd be happy to go on the show. All right, Chaz is asking, rewatching Big Brother 21. I remember that season. I thought it was a pretty good season. Rewatching Big Brother 21 on your first OHOH week right now. Well, thank you so much, Chaz. Do you think making that deal and putting up Bella is a big part of why you made it so far? Yeah, all right. Well, let's talk about that, and then we'll talk more celebrity in a little bit. You're watching my first HOH. You're watching my only HOH. Well, I don't know if I should throw that out there. I don't want to throw any spoilers at you. You may not know whether I won yet or not. I figure you may have an inkling, Chaz. But no, yeah, that was hard. And I've seen people say it was a good deal, it wasn't a good deal, and all of that. For those of you who don't remember, as a very quick recap, I got booted out of the house on a blindside. That has a little chapped about that. Fought my way back in with the battle back. A few hours later, won the HOH competition. Patch Perfect was the game. You had to look at a screen and answer questions about different patches up there and all of that. Now, speaking of that, see these patches over here on the wall? This is from the Big Brother 21 house. And I spent so much time memorizing those patches, every patch on there, how many of each different patch there was, everything. Because I thought at some point in time they maybe would ask questions about it. They never did, but I had them all memorized. But anyway, so I won HOH. I was so excited. First of all, I was safe. But second of all, I was going to get a chance to go after this big alliance of people and protect the lower people, the ones lower on the totem pole and all that. And so I decided to go for it. I put up Mickey, Jackson Mickey, because he volunteered, but I was going to put him up anyway. It just made it a lot easier. And I put up Jack Matthews, who was my absolute 100% target. Had to get him out of there. I felt like he was a strong player. Everyone was in love with the guy. He had to go. And I thought all was well until we had the veto competition and Jackson Mickey won it. Then I came close. Kat and I almost won it, but Jackson won it. And then I find out there's a diamond power veto that Christy owns, which means that when he comes off, Jackson does, she can play that diamond power veto, and Jackson Mickey gets to pick someone else to go up on the block instead. And they had the numbers, so they would basically be able to send that person up. Oh, it chapped me so bad. It kind of ruined my HOH. I really wanted to be the first person to take out someone on that. But Christy approached me, said she had the power, wanted to figure out what we could do. Well, here's the thing. I found out it wasn't just that Christy had the power. It said everyone knew she had the power, which meant she was so worried about getting acceptance for everyone else in the house from this big alliance. I know she went back and forth on whether she actually wanted to use it or not, but I still think at the end of the day, she would have used it because she would have gotten pressured from everyone else on that side, and she didn't want to be called out as not being a team player and all that. She would have used it. And then, everything, my HOH is completely ruined. They put up, who knows who they put up. But so she suggested, or I don't remember how it worked out, but we worked out that I was going to put up Bella instead in exchange for a couple of weeks of safety from everyone else on that side of the house. And it worked. I know Christy didn't know if she could trust me, but she didn't play her veto. And I did what I promised, which was put up Bella. So here's a couple of quick things. First of all, Bella was no friend of mine. She had gone after Nicole so badly. Nicole wanted her gone. I didn't have any huge issue getting her gone. I didn't really think that she would ever be an ally of mine. Even though she was upset at everyone else in the group, she still would have turned on me if she had a chance. I didn't have a huge issue with her being gone. Yeah, it was only a couple of weeks of safety, but at that point in time, my whole focus was you've got to survive 1 week at a time. You're not part of this big alliance. You just have to survive long enough until that alliance blows up, and then who knows what's going to happen. But if you go home before they blow up, then that's the end of it. So a couple of weeks meant a lot to me. And so I was willing to take that chance. And I figured, they could still betray me and lie about it and all that. But as long as there were other people they had as bigger targets, I figured they'd honor that promise for at least a few weeks. And then the final thing, and here's the biggest thing, and this is the long explanation, but the short answer is yes, I think it benefited me. Not because I got those 2 weeks of safety. I think I would have been safe even without that promise for a couple of weeks. But it showed everyone else in that house that I could, if I made a promise, that I would honor my word and follow through with it. And I think that was the most important part of that entire week. Wasn't who went home, who didn't go home, and all that. It was the fact that everyone in the house from that point on said, if Cliff makes a promise, if he says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. And I think that really paid off on day 58, which is when Kat went home instead of myself, because I just think there were a lot of things going on, but I think a lot had to do with people felt like they could trust me. And I think it paid off through the whole rest of the season in terms of my trustworthiness, and people were willing to work closer with me because of it. So yeah, the short answer is yeah, I think it paid off by quite a bit. So maybe more answers than you wanted, or explanation, but there it is. All right, Marie Carroll, do you ever visit Austin? I visited relatives who lived there and had the best time. I love Austin, absolutely. My daughter went to school. I'm an Aggie. My wife's an Aggie. My son's an Aggie. My daughter went to the University of Texas, so she's a Longhorn, and University of Texas is based in Austin. So we used to go there a lot while she was in school. Now my son and his fiance live in Austin. So yeah, we go there quite often, and I love the city. I hate the traffic. There's so many people have moved to Austin over the last few years that it's really hard to get around. Doesn't matter what time of day it is. There's traffic everywhere. It's miserable, but the restaurants, I love the restaurants in Houston. They're fantastic, but Austin also has amazing, incredible restaurants. It's just a fun city to go to. So yeah, when I was in college at A&M, we'd go over to Austin and hit the bar scenes and all that quite a bit. They got a lot of live music in Austin, which is a lot of fun. So yeah, I love Austin. It's a great place. Obviously, a lot of other people think that based on how many people are moving there. It's expensive. All the homes and everything getting really pricey because there's so many people moving in. David Mann is saying, heard they took down the spiral staircase and they won't be able to use the backyard. Yeah, I know it. Hence the spiral staircase in my background. I heard the same thing. I don't know what to think about that, David. Yeah, I heard too. The spiral staircase is gone now. Something's taking its place, right? Yeah, you got to get upstairs somehow. During my season, we also had a ladder, which people rarely used. It was a pain and all that, but we had one. But this spiral staircase, I don't know. I have a fondness in my heart for the staircase because it's been there forever. I mean, things change. Yeah, they change the setup of the house every year, not. But the spiral staircase has always been there, and now it's going to be gone. My question is why? Now, last season they put a wall between the bathroom and the kitchen, which you don't see here. Yeah. You don't see it during my season, but they did it last season, and I wasn't really sure why. Just more area for people to gossip and talk in private and everything. The circular staircase, did they take it out because of safety reasons? Because there's been a lot of people that have fallen on those stairs and gotten hurt, right? I remember Raven Walton got injured. She was injured already. She had the upside down kneecaps and all of that, but she slipped on the stairs and got hurt. There's a few. Well, we probably had half a dozen people get hurt on those stairs. I know when I tore my calf muscle during my HOH week, it was brutal going up and down those stairs. There wasn't any fun at all. It was miserable going back and forth. But the thing I liked about those circular stairs was if you look at the layout of the Big Brother house, where you go up these stairs, you can't really see from a lot of places. If you're careful, if you're in the backyard, it's enough tint on the windows. You can't really see people when they're going up the stairs unless you're really focused on that stairwell. If you're in the kitchen, obviously you can see anyone going up the stairs. But if you're in the bathroom, if you're in the front living room, the cameras don't really show the base of those stairs. So if you ever needed to sneak upstairs to talk to whoever was HOH, you could try to do it with those circular stairs and go very quietly so you didn't hear the squeak of the stairs or anything else. And it just was a fun thing. Yeah, if you're not HOH, kind of watching to see who's going up and down those stairs. If you are, then wondering who's coming up those stairs as well. But so yeah, we're gonna lose all of that, and I'm sure they'll put up some kind of standard staircase, I guess, right there. I don't know. Can they fit standard stairs in this little space? Maybe they may do something completely. I'm excited to see I'm excited to hear who the cast is going to be, but I want to know what the theme of the house is going to be, and I want to see what other kind of changes they've made in the house itself. But yeah, these stairs are. Here's what I remember more about these stairs than anything else during my season. I won HOH. As part of my HOH basket, I got a bunch of donuts. I got like a dozen donuts, and I'm surprised that everyone else in that house didn't want to partake in my donuts. But whatever. Uh, I guess they didn't like Shipley's or Krispy Kremes or whatever they were. So I tried to kind of ration these donuts out. I didn't want to eat them all on the first night. I'd eat like one a day. So I still had 2 or 3 left at the end of my HOH reign. And when it was time to take everything back downstairs, because I was through being HOH, I had these donuts along with my clothes and all that. And Bella, trying to do what she could to stay alive, was trying to be super helpful to me and helping me carry stuff and all of that. And I wanted to say, man, Bella, I don't think it's going to work, but what? So she insisted on carrying my package of donuts down these circular stairs just to help me out. So, all right, here, carry the donuts. Well, Laura, sure enough, she gets halfway down the stairs and she kind of stumbles a little bit, and that package of donuts goes flying off those stairs, lands on the floor, spills out all over the floor. Now, in the real world, in the regular world, in the normal world, I spill a bunch of donuts in a high traffic area where I know people walk all day long every single day. Donuts are going in the trash, right? I'm not a beast. I'm not a George Costanza. I don't eat stuff out of the trash can or anything else. Those donuts are going in the trash, and oh well, I'll go down and buy some more. But in the Big Brother house, when I know that those are the only donuts I'm getting for the next following 60 days or whatever, you put a little more value in the food products and everything else that you happen to have in that house. And so my 5-second rule extended into, I don't know, a 50-second rule. And I quickly ran down. I grabbed those donuts, shook them off a little bit, like that's going to get the germs off, right? But shook them off, put them back in the container. And I think at that point I said, all right, well, I'll put them in the microwave. I'll zap them. That'll kill any germs, right? And then I just have to worry about dirt and everything else. And ignore all the people walking around in their bare feet and everything on that floor that those donuts were exposed to. Hey, they're the only donuts I'm getting for the rest of the season. So I zapped them on high in the microwave. I let them sit for a little while. And then I just kind of ignored that part and chowed down on the rest of those donuts. You know, you do what you got to do when you're inside that house. Tim saying that's how you get ants. Oh, those ants. We did better than I think any other season. The ants didn't come in until 2 or 3 weeks before the end of the season. Tommy was still in the house because Tommy hated those ants. And he's had ants at his place up in New York. He does not like ants. And so I remember Tommy putting out traps everywhere. But yeah, it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 weeks before the end of the season before the ants showed up. Some seasons, they show up within the first month or so. We did pretty well. But once they show up, you can't get rid of them. And the ant traps that the production gave us, they were all, I don't know, how do you have an ant killer that's environmentally friendly? I guess ants aren't considered enough part of the environment because the ant traps we had were friendly to the environment and everything else. They still killed ants, kind of. Give me some high-powered stuff. I could have taken care of them, but we worked with what we got. We got them under handle. But yeah, you're right. Eventually those ants show up. It doesn't help you when you got the hide and go veto and food gets thrown all over the kitchen during that competition anyway. You never can get it cleaned up 100%. That's probably what brings most of them in. And maybe that's why we didn't get the ants, because when we did that hide and go veto, we made a promise. Everyone that was still in the house, we said, look, guys, no one wants to clean up spilled milk on the floor and cereal thrown everywhere. Let's make a promise to each other that we are not going to we're not going to screw up the kitchen. We're not going to spill food everywhere. And if someone hides a veto in the kitchen after we all promise each other, that person's going home next. Let's all make the promise. We all agreed to it. We all honored that agreement, which meant we didn't have food spilled everywhere in that kitchen. And that helped us with the ants. What didn't help us was throwing pies in each other's face and getting graham cracker crust and whipped cream over that entire house. It's amazing we didn't get all kinds of critters. Forget the ants. We should have had rats and squirrels and roaches and every other critter that you could imagine in that house after those. Those pies are horrible. Had fun doing it, but clean up, not so much. That was a little rough. But yeah, there you go on that. All right, what else do we have on here? Paula Scar. How many clothes did you bring with you on Big Brother, or did they suggest certain items to bring? Yeah, Paula, it's not so much. I mean, yeah, I guess they suggested certain items. They said bring enough for you to survive in the house and all that. It was more them saying what not to bring. There are all kinds of rules about. I've talked before about I had a white straw cowboy hat that I couldn't bring in the house because it messed up the cameras. I know we were told don't bring in clothes that have real skinny pinstripes because that'll cause the camera to go in and out with focus and all that. Couldn't have clothes that had big logos on them. I had a bunch of Aggie gear. That I knew going in I was going to bring a bunch of A&M gear, and we were allowed to have college logos in there. I think you were allowed to have logos representing the military, so Army, Navy, things like that, Marines, all Air Force, Coast Guard. Don't want to leave one out. But you couldn't have companies or you couldn't have like professional baseball, football clubs, things like their logos, stuff like that. So it's more what you couldn't bring. My big deal was I'd heard all this conflicting stuff about, oh, it's going to be super hot in the house. It's going to be super cold in the house. Mainly I heard it's going to be super cold. So I brought in a lot of colder weather gear, hoodies and things like that. I didn't need most of that until the very end of the season. But so, yeah, I brought mainly just t-shirts. I brought way too many shoes because I envisioned all these competitions. I figured I could picture my shoes just falling apart halfway through the season and I'm having to compete barefoot or something. So I brought in several pairs of shoes. Well, the reality is most of those competitions is part of our costume, is part of our uniform. We got shoes that went along with it as well. So I could have gotten by with just a little less shoes. Here's what I don't know. It turned out it was incredibly hot at night when I was trying to sleep. I wish I'd brought in maybe one or two more hoods or masks or sleep masks, something to cover up my eyes because the lights were so bright in there. I wish I'd brought in more just super, super lightweight clothing like sleep shorts and things like that. Because, yeah, by the end, I didn't care. I didn't sleep there in my underwear. I let the camera zoom in on me. I don't care. But as hot as it was, the last thing you want to do is pull a blanket up over the top of you and get even more hot. But, you know, but if I'd had some lightweight stuff I could have been wearing, so I wasn't quite as out there to the world, that would have been cool as well. As it turns out, I brought in way too much clothing. My suitcase barely zipped back up. Especially when I started getting I tried to keep some of the costumes and things like, well, you can't keep them. They pulled them all out of my bag. Later, they sent me some stuff in my kind of memorabilia box, but I ended up taking way too many clothes than I needed. But here's the thing. The washer and the dryer in the backyard. So while you're shut down during the week, you don't have access to the washer and dryer. So if you don't have enough clothes, then then you gotta wear dirty stuff. And I'm not into wearing dirty clothes. I tried to always, I was so worried in there. I didn't want anyone to ever say, oh, that guy, his clothes stink, he stinks, he hadn't showered enough. I'd shower 2 or 3 times a day. One, because I was bored, but 2, because I didn't want anything I did to create any issues with anyone. So I wanted to stay super clean and hygienic and all that, including my clothes and all that. And so, yeah, I will say there were 1 or 2 people in my season who I don't think brought quite enough clothes and actually may have had production buy a few clothes for them, is my understanding. And I'm not throwing out any names whatsoever, but there you go. All right, let's see. What else do we have going on here? Let's see. Jelly Crossing. The wall between the bathroom and the kitchen affects the overall game and needs to be removed. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they put that up there, right? I don't know why they did, other than they turned what was the boat room in my season, this door right here. They turned the boat room into the workout room, and I think, man, it's just me guessing, I think that room probably wasn't really big enough to have as much workout gear, workout machines as they wanted. And so they had to open it up a little bit. But once they did that, then I don't know, they didn't have the door anymore there, and they wanted to make sure people could still be in that room and talk without being heard in the kitchen. So as a result, they just put that wall up that blocked off that room and the bathroom both. Just my thoughts based on what I know about the geometry of the house. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, because when that door's closed, you almost have too much privacy back in that bathroom. During my season, you could sit in the kitchen and just kind of very subtly glance at the mirrors and see who's back in that bathroom. And you can tell when someone's in there showering or doing makeup or something versus back there gossiping away. And if you're really good about it, you could be sitting in the living room where Julie talks to us and all that, and you could bounce your vision around the different mirrors and still see back into that bathroom. In fact, you almost could see it all the way in the bedrooms just by going from one mirror to the other and see who's back in that bathroom talking. So yeah, the door eliminates all of that. I'd like to see him remove it as well, but they didn't ask me. All right, Tim Bishop. The Big Brother Celebrity Layout Season 2 was great. Wish they'd modify the house. As we all know, the same vents lead to other rooms for eavesdropping. I need to go back and look at the second season of Celebrity Big Brother, Tim, because I don't really remember the layout. I watched the season. That was a great season, but I just don't remember the layout or even the theme or anything else. You talk about the vents. I tried so hard to listen to those vents. I'm upstairs in the HOH room. I'm downstairs in the boat room trying to figure out if I can listen from one vent to hear what people are saying in another one. I was in the storage room. At one point, I did just like in the old TV shows. I had a glass up against the wall trying to see what people were saying in the archery room, and I could hear them talking. It's just so muffled, I never could pick up enough words to make it worth it. And it's funny because when I saw the camera start panning towards me, I immediately dropped that glass and acted like I was just in there getting food. I don't know why. I mean, who cares if I'm eavesdropping? But I guess, I don't know, at the time I thought, oh, people are going to think, oh, sneaky hog, get him out of here. I don't know why I was so worried about it, but I tried not to make it too obvious as eavesdropping. Other people in the house, man, they did it. They didn't care. They didn't give it a second thought. And there were people that were very good at it. Talking to you, Christy Murphy. But yeah, that's those vents, because there's always air rushing through them. All those lights, you can imagine, it gets so hot. So normally the air conditioning is always running. So there's so much background noise. It's a little hard to hear what's going on in those vents. It'd be cool if they changed it just a little bit and had some, maybe not even vents. What if they just had, I don't know, a teapot or something that if you happen to pull the lid off, then suddenly you realize that you can put your ear in there and you can hear what someone's saying in another room because it's connected with pipes. How cool would that be? Call me CBS. I'll throw out some ideas for you to make the season that much more exciting. But yeah, I don't know. I am curious to see what the layout's going to be, and then just the theme of the house itself. You know, there's the circular staircase. I mentioned safety. Is that why they pulled it out? I don't know. Or is the other thing, is there someone going into that house that maybe, I don't know, because of health or age or something, they think maybe couldn't easily get up and down those stairs? Do they need to have something a little bit easier? I don't know. And if that's the case, does that make you start thinking about people who we maybe haven't even thought of? They're going into this house that, I don't know, maybe they had knee surgery. Maybe Nancy Kerrigan. Maybe she hadn't recovered from Tanya Harding beating. Oh, well, Tanya didn't do it, but Nancy Kerrigan got beaten in the knee right before her Winter Olympic competition. Maybe she's still having problems getting up and downstairs. So, hey, if Nancy Kerrigan shows up on Big Brother, you heard it here first, right? I'd be pretty proud if that was the case. I haven't heard anything. I'm not going out there and saying it's been confirmed because that's just my own guessing. But I don't know. I don't know if there's, I wonder if once we get everyone in the house, I'm going to say, Dad, all right, now I understand why the stairs got removed. Probably not. It's probably just aesthetics. They just wanted to change it up a little bit, but we'll see. All right, let's see what else we have. Tim Bishop. Fun fact: ants have a larger biomass than everything else on the planet combined. Well, I can't say I disagree. I've been all over the world, and most places I've been, there have been ants. South America, Venezuela in particular, they've got these tiny little sugar ants, and you leave any food out in just 30 minutes. It's a jungle environment. 30 minutes later, you come back after lunch or something. You're talking about biomass. It's just a big pulsing ball of ants on whatever you happen to leave out. So I believe it. Yeah, ants are going to take over the world. So it's going to be the ants versus the cockroaches. We're just going to be on the sideline saying, no, we're out of this one, guys. Y'all go to it. I believe it. I hadn't actually thought of it, but yeah, Tim, I'll buy you on that one. All right. What else do we have? I knew I wasn't going to get to all these other things I was going to talk about. Ma's saying, you're picking out college right now? Going to major in theater arts. Well, congratulations, Ma. Here's the thing. Whatever you major in, give it 100%. And make sure it's something that you got a passion for. And one little other bit of advice, whether you're going into college, high school, the Big Brother house, anywhere else, don't be afraid to make changes. Don't be afraid. Don't be too stressed out if the path doesn't necessarily go straight where you think it's going to go. Life has all kinds of little diversions, and don't be afraid to take the different routes if they come up. But yeah, congratulations on that. Don't know that I can help you a whole lot in terms of picking colleges based on their theater arts program, because not necessarily my strength. But I'm sure there are some good ones out there. And what that tells me, Ma, is that it may not be the Big Brother house, but somewhere down the road, I may see you on my TV screen or in front of a stage somewhere, and I'm gonna say, I remember that person, and cool. How incredible would that be? So let me know when you pick your school, and I'll be cheering you on every step of the way. All right, Ultra, I'm here. Hope I didn't miss anything important. Well, I'm not going to say you didn't miss anything, but everything's important, right? But no, it's no earth-shattering anything. I didn't reveal the cast of Big Brother yet, so you're good. And you can always watch a replay a little bit later. Janet Johnson. Hey, Janet, do you get paid for being on Big Brother? The longer you're on, the more money you get. Well, yeah, if you're on to the very end and you get voted right, you get all kinds of money, right? I can't go into a lot of details because CBS still owns my soul, but yeah, we get paid, and you get paid a little bit more the further into the season you go. So, you don't go in there. Although I would have done it for free. Well, I say that it would have been tough because obviously I got to take care of my family and all of that, and money's part of it. But we get a little bit for going on the show. No one came out of there millionaires. Even the guy who won it didn't come out as a millionaire, but you get a little bit week to week, and yeah, you stick around long enough, you get a little more at the end. But I'm not going into a huge amount of detail, but yeah, there's a little bit there. But the main thing, you got to win the thing to get the big bucks, right? Or even come in second place, you get $50K. That's not too bad. And of course, now here's the other thing. Last season they bumped it up to $750,000. Is that going to be the case with the Celebrity Big Brother as well? Second place, $75,000. Are they going to? Is that a permanent escalation, or was that a one-time only deal? Surely it's not a one-time only. I would expect, and I can't remember. Celebrity Big Brother, they're only in there for 21 days, 29 days. I don't remember what the number is, but they're not there in there that long. But they'll probably still get the same escalation prize. And I really hope this summer it stays at 750. I think they ought to bump it up to $1 million. Survivor's out there for 39 days. They get $1 million. Us Big Brother folks are in that house potentially for 99 days, and we only get half that. Yeah, come on, guys. Let's even it all up a little bit. So I know. All right, let's see. Jelly Crossing. You're part of the conversation all day long. People have to walk by you to go to the bathroom. Well, that's true. People walk. Hey, keep this in the background. People walking by me all the time. It was interesting where you would pick to sit in that house during the day where we had so much downtime. Part of it was based on where other people were sitting, but the kitchen was a good spot. You could monitor everything from the kitchen, but for some reason, people just ended up in the bathroom, and I never could figure that out. Who wants to be in that bathroom and watch people going out of the toilet and all that? But it seems like there was always people in there. So I don't know. I think sometimes if you were back in the bedrooms with the doors closed, people got suspicious that you were up to no good because that was so far removed from everyone else that you had to be talking game and strategy, and then everyone gets nervous a little bit about it. If you're in the kitchen or the living room, it's so out in the open that everyone pretty much assumes you're probably not talking a whole lot of game, that you're just giving the impression that you're just laid back. You're just enjoying the day when you're sitting in those rooms. The bathroom, somewhere in between. It's a little more private from the rest of the house, so you can be talking a little bit of game, but not so closed that that people immediately assume that you got to be talking game. I don't know. There's so many little nuances once you get in that house about. It's all about perception. You know, if I sit here, what are people going to think? If I talk to this person, what are people going to think? Lots of times, who you talk to, it's not as much because you need to share information with them necessarily. Sometimes you just want other people to see you talking to that person because you need to make sure that they think that you're working with that person, or that you want to make sure they don't think that you got a beef with that person. There are so many times where I would talk to a single person or a couple of people on the house, fully aware of everyone else that was watching me talking to those people and wanting to try to create some kind of impression. You got to be careful about so much stuff while you're in there. It just wears on you after a while, constantly worrying about every little picky detail. It's hard. It's tough. We got that. All right. Tim, wonder if they'll still have the second floor. Could someone handicapped or injured be in? Well, yeah, that's kind of what I wonder. Could you have, let's talk about inclusivity, right? We haven't had it from a physically challenged person. You could have someone in a wheelchair, for example, or someone that's got braces, or has some difficulties with mobility issues. And if that's the case, then you're right. Maybe the stairs are gone, and we got a little dumbwaiter dolly kind of elevator thing instead that pulls people up or down or something. I could see for Celebrity Big Brother them saying, "Yeah, we're too good to take the stairs. We're going to take an elevator instead." That's actually a pretty cool idea. Now, I hope that elevator is one of those that as it goes up, it goes ding, 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 as it gets to every floor and alerts everyone when the elevator is going up or down. Because then everyone in the house, they're going to hear that bell. It's going to be like Pavlov's dog. They're going to hear a bell and they're going, "Who's going upstairs to the HOH room? Who is that?" Checking out every single time. Yeah, that's a very interesting thought. Now I got to reevaluate, go back and think of all my celebrities and who maybe would benefit from that type of situation, who would maybe need an elevator to get up and down. Funny how the smallest little consideration starts just creating all kinds of new thoughts and all that, right? I don't know. Come on, Steve Hawking. Well, if Steve Hawking shows up on Celebrity Big Brother, using an elevator versus a staircase is going to be the least of my aha bits of that bit of news. Yeah, he'd be good, but don't, yeah. And a whole lot of issues with him coming onto the show, right? Lisa Any Minute. I wonder if they're moving in live or moving in this week. Yeah, that's a good thought. We've had the last couple of seasons, they moved in live, right? My gut tells me, and it's nothing but my gut, knowing, full disclosure, I'm not in contact with any of CBS or Big Brother or anyone on the show. I don't know, but my gut tells me that with the celebrities moving in, it's not going to be live. My guess is that they are going to move into the house. They're going to get a chance to get their wits about them, get oriented, adjusted to the house, adjusted to the microphones and the cameras everywhere. And only after everyone's feeling a little bit more comfortable about that, then we'll get the feeds turning on and all of that. I could be wrong, but I think being celebrities, they're going to be treated with a little bit more kid gloves in terms of the adjustment factor. And so because of that, I expect we'll have a little downtime before those feeds turn on or before we're watching on TV. Just my gut thinking. Could be right. My mom. Hey, Mom. Howdy, Mom. Do you think they'll ever have an aquarium again? No, we probably ruined the aquarium for all time. For those of you who don't remember, there was an aquarium up in the lobby, kind of the second floor across from the HOH room, that little bridge area. For us, it was a little game room. Every season was a little bit different. But we had an aquarium, and we had fish that continually died, and they took them out because, COVID, you couldn't have people going in there. Now, here's the thing. No one came into the house to maintain those fish. We never saw the fish handlers or fish wranglers or whatever. It's not like they came in and said, "Oh, pardon us, we got to feed the fish." No, we had to feed the fish every morning. And that's not why they died. We fed them. We fed them well. Nicole and Kat were the two I remember morning and West. Ovi a little bit while he's in the house too, that would always feed the fish. But here's what y'all may not know. We had in the storage room, remember we had two refrigerators. We had one in the kitchen, and we had one in the storage room. Well, in the storage room, the freezer section was at the bottom, and the Big Brother people actually put fish food in there. And every day there was a little baggie that said Tuesday fish food. You wouldn't want to confuse. There's people in that house, if it wasn't labeled fish food, that probably would have gotten eaten and the fish would have gone without. But it'd say Tuesday fish food. You would take that out first thing in the morning. You'd go up there and you'd drop it in the tank and watch the fish go after it. And so, there were people in the house who took care of those fish. But it's hard to explain, but people, when they needed to treat the tank or anything else, they could get into it from behind the fish tank. It's like the fish tank was in the wall. Half of it was in front of the wall. Half of it was behind the wall. And if you kind of looked right, you could see that there was an area where someone could, from behind the wall, stick their hands in with nets and do things and all that. So, yeah, they had the fish handlers that would take care of the fish. And, I don't think those fish are ever coming back. I think it's too much effort. Yeah, the first season, they had chickens the first season. Remember Chicken George and all that? They had chickens, and then they had hamsters or gerbils or whatever. What season was it where they were considered a couple and it screwed up someone's answer? That was I didn't like that. But anyway, they had chickens, they had gerbils, then they had fish. After us, they said, yeah, we're not putting anything living in there. I'd let them take care of ants if they want to. They can't handle anything more than that. So yeah, I don't think the fish are ever coming back. I think we ruined that for the rest of Big Brother. I prove me wrong. They'll have some kind of exotic koi fish this season, then there you go. But I kind of doubt it. All right, let's see what else. 7:52. I so much to talk about. I knew we were going to talk a lot about Big Brother tonight of all nights. Cindy Howard, you may have seen me on TV or in the movies. I did a music video once too. All right, Cindy. I need some more details. That's pretty cool. The Gaslight Anthem, the song is Get Hurt. Can see me 5 or 6 times. All right, well, Gaslight Anthem. I'm going to have to remember that. I'm going to go out there and check it out. That's cool. That's good. Congratulations. I'm talking to a movie star. That's pretty neat. You never know. Angie Hung. Now Angie does gymnastics on Monday night, so she's not out here as much as she used to. Angie does all kinds of she's an actress and everything as well. Kate Winslet's her absolute icon actress that she watches on it. So yeah, I know there's all kinds of, and now Ma's going to be in theater arts. We got all kinds of celebrities sitting out here on Monday night, and so I'm so happy to have all of y'all. You never know. Every single one of us, there's a potential star, celebrity, actor buried somewhere deep inside. Look at me. I'm an engineer. I'm a 50-something-year-old guy with a family and all that. And somehow I ended up getting on a TV show. And so, you never know where that lightning's going to strike, right? You just never know. So so getting back to what I said to you earlier, Ma, don't be afraid to take those different paths, because you never know when they're going to lead to something that you never expect in a million years. It's what makes life so exciting. Tim, the first season you used to get to smoke in the house. Isn't that something? There used to be a lot of smokers in the house. Evil Dick smoked a lot of cigarettes. You remember Jen tearing up or pouring water over all of his cigarettes? Man, that guy. It's a miracle he didn't just throw her out of the house right then and there. Jason Roy, I think, was the one that pretty much just had a suitcase filled with nothing but cigarettes. Yeah, and now you can still officially smoke. You can only smoke outside, though, and I don't think that's as much Big Brother. I mean, I think they would have done it anyway. I'm so glad they did, but I think that's the state of California. You can't smoke indoors anymore. And so I know they told us, they said, bring in cigarettes if you want, but once you run out, we ain't get you any new. We'll give you nicotine patches and nicotine gum and all that, but once you're done, you're done. I remember Jack Matthews, when he won HOH, he kept saying, I'm going to ask for some cigars so we can all sit out here and smoke cigars during my HOH. It's like, yeah, great idea, Jack. Ain't going to happen. Don't think for a second they're going to give you cigars. There's not a chance in the world. But he's still asking. They still said no. But yeah, now you can only smoke outdoors. And I don't know how people do it. I know, like Derek Frazier from last season. He's a smoker. Even if you plan on smoking outdoors, we only have the outdoors for 2 days a week. So that's a long time if you're hooked on the nicotine to be indoors and not able to smoke away. I think, and I don't know for certain, but there were no smokers during my season. Even Jack, I mean, his was just cigars, but which is a smoker. But we're talking a 3-pack a day kind of habit. We didn't have any smokers in our season, and I was so happy for that. I was so incredibly happy. I worried about having to go in there and hang out with people, because when you're not a smoker, man, you can smell that smoke on people who are, right? But we didn't have any. If you're a smoker, do not go on Big Brother. Quit your habit before you go in the house, because it's hard enough as it is. It's just going to be brutal if you're trying to kick a habit while you're inside the house. That'd be hard. That'd be really hard. Chaz, what was your favorite comp you played, and how'd you dominate the snake and ball competition? That was amazing. Well, thank you. And it's easy to say that's my favorite competition, because I did pretty well at it. That last question first, I answer. How did I dominate it? Here's the thing. I figured out pretty quick. If you don't remember, the first time I put the ball on a ramp, it fell off almost immediately. And I realized that the key wasn't to go slow. People were trying to be so slow with the ball so it wouldn't fall off. And I figured out if you went just a little bit faster and you had that ball going forward, If you get a little momentum going forward, it's a whole lot harder for that ball to go left or right when it's going fast than when it's going slow. And if you doubt that, just take a piece of wood, piece of cardboard or something, put a tennis ball or golf ball or something on it, and try lift it up high and try to turn it versus barely lifting it and see how much more wobble you get. So I figured out that going a little bit faster, as long as I was just very subtle in left or right, so I could steer it left or right. But as long as I was going just a little bit faster, it was easy to control it. You just turn it just the tiniest bit and it would go where you wanted it to go. Everyone else was trying to go so slow that they just couldn't keep it on a straight path. So that's how I dominated that particular event. My favorite event, I mean, it's got to be the iconic ones. It's got to be, even though I did horrible on it, I didn't come in last, but the wall competition, I knew that wasn't going to be my strength. The slip and slide, I certainly knew I wasn't probably going to win that. But and OTEP, I mean, competed OTEP. That was when I walked outside, I saw OTEP and I knew I was going to get to do it. My life was on the line. I mean, I had to win that week, and I didn't. And it was Kat and I, as a result, that were on the block. And I was fighting for my life that week. So it was important that I win. But even with that being said, when I walked outside and saw OTEP, it's like, oh, man, I am playing the game of Big Brother right here. So the iconic ones have got to be fun. But here's the two that maybe were my favorites for two different reasons. The first one was the veto competition during my HOH run, sitting on a jet ski, taking off clothes while trying to keep 3 buttons pushed. I enjoyed that. I didn't win. I came close. I think I surprised people. I did as well as I did. I enjoyed that because that just seemed like the typical Big Brother type competition. And that's why I also enjoyed the second veto competition that I wanted to mention was Coral Reef. And Coral Reef was where you had a bunch of sticks hanging down and ropes. You had to hang a lot of stuffed animals off, create a mobile, kind of like kids, infants in their cribs, mobile type thing. But as soon as you put a stuffed animal on one side, it'd cause everything to flip and fall off the sticks. And it was incredibly frustrating. Most frustrating competition I did the entire season I was in there. But I enjoyed it for the same reason I enjoyed the jet ski, of that I felt like pretty much anyone potentially could win it. You didn't have to be the most athletic person to win that event. You didn't have to be the smartest person. Anyone had the potential to win it. And those are the kind of comps I like. There were some comps during my season where as soon as I walked out there, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to win this. Not in a million years. As soon as we saw some of the comps, we knew there were just a couple of people that were going to be fighting to win that competition. And I don't like those. I like the ones where everyone has a chance to win it. I like some of the mental competitions for that reason. But yeah, in terms of just typical Big Brother, the Coral Reef and the jet ski were two of my favorites. They were both a lot of fun. 7:59. Oh my gosh, guys. It goes so quick. All right, a couple little cleanup notes or something. I wanted to mention a couple of things before we shut down, so I'll do that real quick. One, just a reminder, Survivor's starts on March 9th, which is cool. But here's what I discovered that's got me a little excited as well. Not just Survivor on March 9th, but we have Survivor Australia, which starts, I want to say, February 13th. Now, here's the thing with Survivor Australia. Sandra's going to be on it. Sandra Diaz, the queen of Survivor, our Survivors, won it twice. Sandra's going to be on Survivor, and her daughter's going to be on Survivor as well. It's one of those blood versus water kind of competitions like we had Survivor here. They're both going to be on the show. It premieres on February 13th, and here's what's cool about it. I don't work for CBS. I don't get paid, so don't think that I'm some kind of shill or anything for them. But Survivor Australia is going to be on Paramount Plus. So if you got the CBS streaming app, apparently that's what I've heard. We're going to be able to watch Survivor Australia, and not just this upcoming season, but I think they've put some of the old seasons out there, or they're getting ready to. It's cool. I'm looking forward to watching some of the competitions, survivors and such from other countries as well. We need some other country Big Brothers out there on CBS too. That'd be cool, right? But now, so I'm looking forward to see how Sandra and her daughter do on Survivor. I already saw a little story from Sandra saying, if they vote my daughter out, I'm going to be mean. I'm going to be nasty. Everyone in that on my tribe and every other tribe is going to absolutely hate me because I'm going to come in with a vengeance if they knock my daughter out of the game. I think she would too. So there you go. I thought that was pretty cool that we're actually going to be able to watch Survivor Australia without having to go to bootleg feeds or anything like that. So there you go. All right, guys. I had some other stuff I was going to talk about, and Corey, you know how it goes, and I knew this was going to happen. We'll talk about some other day. Now, by next week, we'll know who the cast is. So I expect next week it's going to be all Celebrity Big Brother, and I'm so looking forward to it. But until then, guys, y'all have a fantastic rest of the week. Once the cast drops, I don't know, maybe we'll do an extra little YouTube here once we hear that. We'll see. I'll figure out what's going on. But y'all have a great rest of the week. Stay dry, stay warm, depending on what part of the country y'all are on. Again, it's National Compliment Day, so find someone and give them an unexpected compliment. You'll see a smile on their face, I'm sure. But guys, you have a great one. SKD143. Love my wife, love my kids, love all of y'all out there. Stay safe, stay warm, give someone a hug. I'll talk to y'all later, guys. It's Celebrity Big Brother starts next week. Woo! So ready. Cheers, guys. Have a great one. Bye.